All right, so it looks like I'm live here. Let's see if it's actually working. Um, yeah, so let me check to make sure. Hold on. This has been an interesting day where YouTube does not want me to talk about certain things. All right, so it looks like I'm live here. Let's see if it's actually working. Yeah, so let me check to make sure. Hold on. This has been an interesting day. Oh, that works. Where Oops. YouTube does not want me to talk. Let me see if this is working. Yeah. So check to make sure. I think I stepped on some the over to Rumble, so I'm streaming from Rumble now. I think there's certain things that I'm not supposed to talk about, and so I'm just gonna. My other video was that. So this is the 79th. By the way, welcome to the Daily Dose of Hope. This is day 115. Try 3. And what I was talking about was that today is the 79th anniversary of the big war that happened, the number 2. And so today is June 23rd, and it's a special day. There's a kind of like a memorial day in Japan for the people who passed. And so I saw the newspaper article this morning, and I thought it just reminded me of my grandfather went to World War II, and he fought in Okinawa, of all places. And he, within the first few days of his time there, he was bayoneted in the back, stabbed in the back. So bayonet is a normal gun, a rifle with a sword, or I guess a sword on the top, on the front. And he was stabbed in the back. And then for the rest of the war, he was in Hawaii, because that's where all the American military went at the time for rest and to rest. And so he was at what is called the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. If you Google that, it's a beautiful place, and it's a luxurious hotel. And so he was staying at this really nice hotel while he was just recovering. And when he recovered, he met this nice Filipino family in Hawaii and just hung out with them. And they ran a restaurant. So I think he was just hanging out at the restaurant with his friends there. And so that's the story. And what YouTube keeps cutting me off on is I was talking about the idea of epigenetics. So that I have a problem that whenever I have too much stress, it all comes to my kidneys. And you went on top of your kidneys, there's this triangular thing, and it's called your adrenals. And your adrenals are that's what they pump out something called cortisol. And cortisol is like when you feel a lot of stress, or when the fight or flight thing. That's they shoot out the cortisol to help you to run away or whatever. But when you have too much of it, they work too much. They work overtime. And for me, it starts to hurt. They do hurt, I imagine, balance in that sense. But what I've realized in my meditation this morning is that it is it's an ancestral trauma. So what happened with my grandfather, it was so traumatic for him, because he was just 18, just a little kid. He didn't know what's going on. He was just going to, you know, as everyone at the time, just going into what they told him to do. And then all of a sudden he gets stabbed in the back and he feels this intense pain, and I'm sure he passed out and then just didn't know what was happening. So it was just, that was a very traumatic experience for him. And so that trauma, it was passed on to, throughout the family. And so I have it as well. And that's what this kidney thing is what I realized today. And so that this is the thing. And so I wanted to talk about that because I've talk to some elderly people and they say, "Oh, there's no reason for me to like do forgiveness practice or shadow work." It's like whatever, I'm old. I've come this far. Why do I have to worry about that stuff? But it's like because you might pass it on to your children, and you don't want that, or your grandchildren. Um, Now, in this sense, this is not a negative thing, right? Because it's just a thing. And we all come down here into this planet knowing what we're getting into. We all know what we're getting into. It's just we come down and we get into it. And so, but when we do get into it, we have a choice though of if we would like to cleanse it or not. And what it serves for us, the purpose of it is it colors our experience here. It gives us a certain experience. And and that was the experience that we wanted to have. We wanted to have that kind of experience. And so, yeah, so that's what that is about. And I think it's beautiful in that sense because, and if it's something that you'd like to work on, you can work on. I have been working a lot on these issues myself, on dealing with these ancestral traumas and also ancestral. And I can't say this word on YouTube for some reason. Ancestral, it starts with a C and ends with an E. And this now YouTube's probably cut me off now, but that's also part of it. That's these things are there in our world. They exist. And so for many people, like when you talk about this sort of thing, many people would say, no, I don't believe that. That's not true. That's not true. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe that. And that's fine. You don't have to believe it. It's not necessary to believe it or not believe it. But the sun, for example, you can believe in the sun or not believe in the sun, but it'll still shine. It'll still help the plants to grow, and it'll still, come back every day. And so I think that's sort of the idea. But it's not necessary to believe in it. It's just there, and it's coloring your experience. And I think that's the parable for it, the way to understand it. And recently, I think a day or two ago, I did a very, very intense clearing of something that I didn't even realize I had. So this is part of the process, is you don't even know how many, there's so many layers to this. And so I just was doing my meditation and I realized, it's like, oh my God, what the heck is that? And my guides were like, oh, well, this is something that has attached to you. And I was like, well, I don't want that, I want to get rid of it. And then so we went through the process of getting rid of it. And as a result of that, I have so much more energy. I feel like my energy is so much more opened up and wider. Like there's this sense of power and energy, and it's great. I feel wonderful. So it is a good process. It's a wonderful process. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, I'm not sure. I'm going to check and see if this is still, I don't even know if this is live on Rumble. I don't really have a lot of people watching on Rumble, so I don't know. Hold on. So it is a good process. It's a wonderful process. Oh, it's still working. Interesting. I wanted to talk. Haven't been cut off yet. And the other thing I wanted. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry, it's a bit unorganized. Usually I'm not this unorganized, but that's what I wanted to talk about, that is a thing, and that if it's a thing that you want to work on, there are ways of working on it. And if you need help, you can talk to me, or you can talk, there's many amazing people I can refer you to, or just books that you can check out, however you want to do it. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was that yesterday in the live, I brought my cat. My cat kind of snuck in. I think when she comes in, she's kind of telling me, okay, it's time to, stop being online now. It's time to pay attention to me. And so she came in, and when I put her up to see the camera, whenever she sees a camera, she always looks away. She knows it's there. So it's really hard to take a picture of her. She knows it's there. And it started reminding me of the Indians, the Native Americans. They don't like having their pictures taken either. And I started thinking about, well, why would you not want your picture taken, right? So the theory that we usually hear is that it's because it kind of steals a part of your soul, right? And I was like, okay, that makes sense, I guess, right? But what I realized is that it stops time. So when you take a picture, you're taking a picture of something, and you are making a time bubble. And so you were creating, so that instant in time was very quick. It just passed away like nothing. But when you take the picture, you can continue to see it, and you just continue to put emotions onto it. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and now you've created a time bubble. You've created a stasis in time, a period of time. And I think that's what that's about. that it's very important for us to live in the moment. But if we have these pictures and they trap emotions and trap ideas there, then we're trapping a bit of ourselves in that idea. This is not to say that not to take pictures. I take pictures all the time, but just that the knowledge of that idea, just like the knowledge of the sun. And yeah, I guess those were the two things I wanted to talk about. And I wonder if my guides could come in and talk about. Hold on, I have to check again to make sure this is working. If they could come in and talk about. Yeah, okay, so I'm still on. All right. So if my guides could come in and talk about this sort of idea, this idea of generational trauma, generational word that starts with a C, ends with an E. Yeah. And yeah, anything else about like time or whatever they'd like to tell us. So here we go. I'm going to go into a channeling. Greetings. We are that one that you know of as Esmeralda, and we're here and we're here and we're here and we're here to give you a message of love and a message of light, which are the only true messages available to all of you. What we'd like to start out first of all is just to make you or to help you to understand that you are beings of light having an experience on this third dimension. That is all. You're beings of light that are projected down here into this place of shadows and light. But you are of the light. You are of the light. There is this idea that there is an absence of the light. This concept is just a concept that you took on here. In reality, it doesn't exist. It is just an illusion. That concept is an illusion. But you brought on that illusion so that you could have this experience, because it enables you to go down pathways that you normally would never go down. But here in this place of free will, this place of making your own choices, this complete place of complete freedom, complete chaos, and complete wonderment, you can have all of the experiences that you need to experience. And so it is a wonderful place of learning, a place to learn about yourself and who you are and what you need to do. And so that is what this place is for. So all of these stories that you hear, you might have words, these words that this being is talking about might scare you, they might frighten you, but understand that they are only words, and that is just part of the experience. It's part of the story here. You came down here to experience a multi-dimensional story. You came down here for the transition that you're in at this moment. This transition from a third dimension rising into a multidimensional experience, which is truly who you are. But this multidimensional experience will be experienced within your physical body. And that is why it is a beautiful and amazing new thing that you are all doing. And so what we'd like to say about this, though, is that yes, all of these things do exist, but it is up to you. It's up to your perspective whether or not you want to see them or not see them. And there is no judgment either way. If you would like to see them, you can see them. If you don't want to see them, you don't have to see them. Everyone comes down here with a certain amount, with a certain capacity, a certain that they would like to experience. And things that are outside of that capacity, they will not experience. And this is something that you might have seen in these previous years on your planet, these crazy years, as this being says, the crazy years. The years of craziness. What happened in those years was that there was a lot of information that was revealed, but many people would not be able to see that information because that is not what they came down here to see. They did not want to see that information on a soul level because they wanted to have the experience that they came down here to experience. And so it is important to understand that as well, that everyone is coming down here for a different experience of what is truly going on. And that is beautiful and that is wonderful. And so, yes, what this being is talking about is true. And there are many of you who have this concept, and these aches and pains that you think are coming from you might be coming from something deep in your past, from a great grandfather, great grandmother. And it is a very interesting story as stories go, that you come down here as a part of a very long story, a long tradition. All of you have so many ancestors and so many stories and so many traditions. And this would be a very interesting thing if you are willing, if you are adventurous and you would like to go down that path and to see to see your true history as well, because there are many surprising things as well. This is not just a story of dark, it is a story of light as well. So just as the same as there are these traumas and these, as this being does not want us to say this word, we won't say it, but there are other things related to that. And because of that, there is a flip side as well, because you work on the idea of the yin and the yang. There's a perfect balance. So there is so much light in your ancestry as well. There's so much beauty that balance out everything as well. And understand this, that there's always that balance. And that is part of your experience here. So understand that these are stories that you're experiencing, and that it is possible for you to change that story and to change that narrative. You have that power. If you, all you need to do is to be aware and to start to see. And once you can see what it is that has happened and that is happening, then you can change it. Just like anything that is happening in your life. If you do not know what something is coming from, then there is no way to change it. Just like all trauma, all pain, if you do not know the question, where did this pain come from? If you can't answer that, then that is impossible to heal it. And so that is part of this process as well. And that is a very important part of healing. If that is something that you would be willing to take on. We are that one that you know of as Esmeralda. Well, all right. So, phew, all right. Yeah. Let me check to make sure that this is still going out. I feel like I've gone down. So I feel like I've gone down a path that I don't usually talk about, but it's something, it's important to understand. But I just worry sometimes that people might be in fear when they hear this, and that there's no reason to be in fear. It's just a simple thing. It's just an idea. And you are, all of us are so powerful. We are so able to deal with all of these things. I mean, we're of God, we're of love, you know. And so today's today's pocket of peace is going to be about releasing. And if you're willing to release now, and if you're not willing, then please don't, it's not a good idea to participate. But if you're willing to release trauma, to release pain, then this is let's do it. So what I'm going to do for me personally, is releasing the trauma that my grandfather felt. That I came here to kind of bring peace, to understand peace, and to understand peace within my family as well. To say that that stops here. That I'm about love, and I'm about peace, and I'm about forgiveness, and and that's how you solve a trauma. So let's do it. And I would like all of you also to whatever traumas that you have that you would like to work on. This is it. This is the place. So here we go. So I'd like you to take a few deep breaths. And then I'd like you to imagine that you're surrounded by the light of unconditional love. This is the light of unconditional love. And this love surrounds you and protects you. And it makes you understand that you are perfect and you are loved by God no matter what you do, no matter who you are. You are perfect and you are loved. And there's nothing that you need to do. There's nothing that you need to regret. There's nowhere that you need to go. There's nothing that you need to worry about. You're here right now in this moment. And this moment is the moment of love. You are in love. And it's similar to when you feel romantic love. That is the tip of the iceberg of the love that you are and that you feel. But you can use that as a reference, that feeling, that the butterflies in the stomach. But it is an eternal love, that eternal butterflies in the stomach, eternal feeling of peace and of love and of oneness. And that is who you are. You are an amazing being of light. And would like you just to feel that energy, and then just expand it out into your room, and then expand it out into your town, and then into the rest of the whole world. The whole world is just surrounded by this just lovely incandescent light, and it's so powerful. And it just, imagine everyone in the whole world just taking a step back and stopping for a second and saying, yes, I feel good, I feel loved, I feel one. Oh, I haven't felt this way in a long time. It's so good. It's so good to feel this. I'm just loved. I'm okay. I am all right. I'm perfect the way I am. There's nothing that I have to change or do or say or regret or worry about. I'm perfect right now. And that is one of the most powerful places to be right now and in love, because you are love. That's what you're made of. And then with this energy, I'd like you to just also now to, if there are any traumas, any things that are bothering you, anything that you're carrying with you, any pains, aches and pains, or sadness, or anything, I'd like to just call in the energy to release all of this trauma, just to release it, to let it go. And I just call that in, that energy. Just imagine everyone around the world who's ready. And if they're not ready, then this can just go to their guides for whenever they're ready. And then just send this out, this energy of release, of releasing everyone from all of this trauma that they don't need anymore. They don't need this heaviness on them anymore. And just imagine everyone just letting go of this trauma, letting go of this energy. It's gone. It's gone, and it's gone, and it's gone back to source. It's gone back to energy. Just imagine everyone all around the world, and you as well, you as a perfect being. It's just gone. And you just feel so much lighter, and there's just so much wonderful energy now. All that tiredness that you felt, all of that sickness, all that inability to move forward in your life, it's gone. It's time. It's time. It's time to release all that. It's time to release all that. And just imagine everyone around the world who's ready to release it, and those who are not, give it to their guides. And just imagine them just saying, yeah, I feel better now. There's a lightness to my being, and there's an energy that I haven't had in a long time. It's back, and I'm in love, and I'm now. And this is a beautiful feeling, and I just love it. And I love everything and everyone. What a beautiful time to be alive. And I'd like you guys to just take this pocket of peace. It's yours. It's your pocket of peace. You can use this energy that we created now, or you can put it in your pocket and use it whenever you need it. But this is for you. And yeah, and let's just say that this pocket of peace will be for whoever, whenever you need it, and whoever needs it, they can just download it whenever they need it. So thanks, guys, for listening. This is Daily Dose of Hope, day 115, June 23rd, with a lot of difficulties from YouTube not wanting me to say certain words, which I find strange. But yeah, I guess that's the crazy world that we live in. So, all right, guys, I hope you are all hopeful, and I hope you understand that there's nothing to worry about, that you are loved and that you are perfect. So, all right, guys, so ciao.